The Kudzuki Network presents
Rise Up Single Mom. Hi, moms, and welcome to the Rise Up Single Mom podcast with your host, Clarissa Joy. We are empowered by the Kudzuki Network. Another amazing interviewee today. I am so happy and excited to be sitting with. She's got the happy fingers over here across from me. Today, I don't know where I start. Reverend Dr. Reverend Karen, Todd, Pastor, all of that good stuff.
All of that good stuff.
Welcome to the show.
Well, thank you for having me. I am grateful. I am grateful to be here.
Yes, absolutely. So, Dr. Karen and I mean, she has been such a figment in the community for years. I used to attend some girl night outs that she hosted with the church some years ago. Even on her broadcast that she had on the radio, I was fortunate to be on the opposite side of the interview side when we were having a Rise Up Single Mom event. She chatted with her community and listeners about that. So now I have the pleasing pleasure. I knew I was going to twist that up. To be interviewing.
Pleasure, yes. Apparently, well, we won't say it's payback. We'll say that it's going to be an amazing time.
Absolutely. We always have a great time on this podcast. So, moms, as we start every single episode, we have a powerful affirmation. So say it with me. I will find strength through any situation. Say it again. I will find strength through any situation.
I will.
Yes.
I will find strength through any situation. You will not affirm without me.
There
I want
you
to
go.
be involved.
I love that. That's why you are here today. So October coming up. We know that October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and Dr. Karen has done so many great strides in this space. So we just thought it'd be fitting to invite her on the show today. So some moms may not know her. I don't know how you couldn't. So
it's possible.
So let's just dig in a bit and introduce you to the moms, to our listeners, to the show. So starting out, let's maybe have you share with us a bit about, I mentioned the radio show you had, and that was the Coach Karen side.
Soar with Coach Karen. Yes.
Yeah. So
SOAR stands for,
okay,
in case I do it again, success over and above reason.
I love that.
That's what SOAR stands for.
I love that. So Coach Karen, tell us a bit about you from the coach side.
Okay. Well, I became a certified professional coach in 2015.
Okay.
Understanding what coaching is. I was probably doing it long before that.
Absolutely.
But I got some papers that said I was legit. So I started doing that in 2015, doing workshops with people, just really trying to help people see more, do more, be more. So that's the tagline. See
Love
more,
that.
do more, be more. Because we have to see it, and then we have an action that we have to take. So that's to do more. And then we get to become what we see if we do the work.
Right.
So see more, do more, be more. So it has been an amazing ride. I often tell people that I am a coach, but I'm also a client. So all the things that I get to do is because I spend the time coaching Karen.
Okay.
So people
taking your own advice.
Absolutely. Well, I definitely walk my talk.
Okay. Because
I need to know if it works or if it does not work.
Little trial run there.
Correct. So when I started, like I said, that was 2015. I was in full-time ministry at that point, and I just felt a pull that I'm supposed to expand and do some more stuff. And in 2016, I believe it was, I resigned from full-time ministry. Okay. I'm still full-time ministry. I'm not at a church right now. So I resigned from full-time ministry, and I realized that maybe a year or two ago, I realized that most of the things that people know me for now, I did after the big thing that people knew me for. So getting my MDiv, my Master of Divinity, getting my doctorate, releasing the books, all that stuff happened after I had the biggest, most amazing platform at New Direction Christian Church. So yeah, so it's just showing how when you surrender to that pool.
Yes.
A lot of times we feel the pull and we're like, yeah, but I don't know. I don't think I can. I don't think I'm good enough. All these other people are doing it. It does not matter. If you feel the pull, if there's a calling for you to do it, there is space for you to do it. I was not the first coach. I was not the first female pastor. I was not the first, but God still created a space for me, and God does that for everyone who chooses to hear it and answer the call. So. That, I don't know, maybe that's for somebody. That they,
absolutely, it is.
Hearing, because everybody has dreams and we talk ourselves out of them.
All the time.
We logic ourselves out of our faith.
These artificial parameters. Well, because of this, or I'm going to wait until my kids graduate, or I'm going to wait until that right? We just keep doing that like a cycle.
Just start. Try to get so many people. And actually, I posted yesterday. So you and I have talked, so I have to remember the things that I need to say on the air to bring them up to speed. But I'm finishing a chaplain residency with Methodist. And I posted yesterday that last year, I decided to I decided to give a year of my life and my lifestyle to become a student again, to do a residency.
That's amazing.
At Methodist. And so with that ending, I remember posting that the year is going to pass anyway.
Right.
You may as well accomplish something.
Might as well.
So
absolutely.
we're like, well, a year is too long, but next year you'd be done.
It flies by.
You'd be done if
like
you started,
look up and then we're still saying, 2020. Oh, it's 2021 is almost over.
We are looking over the hill at 2022.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now you just breezed over that MDiv and that doctorate degree, and let's just back it up for a moment here, because that deserves some kudos, congratulations, some woohoo, go girl, high five,
all of that good stuff.
All of that good stuff.
Snapping it up, all that good stuff.
How amazing.
Yeah. So I love to learn.
Okay.
Lifelong learner.
Okay. So
and go ahead.
Tell us a bit about your PhD. I think you mentioned that you finished it in 2020. So tell us about your area of focus.
Okay. So actually, I have a DMin.
Okay.
Which is different from PhD. DMin is a doctor of ministry.
Thank you.
I have a doctor of ministry. So, that's all with that. So I have a doctor of ministry, and my focus is in pastoral care.
Okay, pastoral care.
So what I realized when I told you I was at the church doing full-time ministry, got the certification for coaching, and decided to get my doctorate for where I was going and for not where I was currently.
There's a nugget, moms. Right. Pick it up.
So the doctorate I could have done leadership. I could have done preaching. But that's what I was doing then. By no means saying I'm an expert in any of that. But for where I wanted to be, for where I wanted to go, for where I felt God was calling me, I wanted to become more of an expert in that. Instead of just trying to toot my horn what I've already accomplished. Let's go over here. Let's go out into the uncharted territory. Let's get out of the comfort zone, because that's where the growth takes place. That's where we meet God, in the uncharted territory.
Yes.
So I got a degree in my DMin in pastoral counseling, and my DMin project, which is what in PhD they call a dissertation. My DMin project was. I try to get the title right because it sounds good,
It sounds real good to me.
The effects of the Wonder Woman syndrome on the African American female when Wonder Woman needs to talk.
Oh, when Wonder Woman needs to talk.
Right.
Okay.
So as African American females, we do so much. We are so much. We do all that we need to do, and even more than we need to do. Right. And single moms, same thing. We do way more sometimes than what is required, because we're trying to achieve whatever this standard is that may not really be the standard, but we've created this place that we're trying to make better. So in our community, for many years, we have not been fans of therapy. We have not been fans.
It was such a taboo topic.
Absolutely.
Right?
What goes on in our house stays in our house. All these types of things.
Don't spread our business.
And right. So it is still difficult sometimes for African American women to go to counseling for many reasons. So what my project did was research that, and also came up with models for for counselors who do not have our shared experience, who do not have an African American woman, the experience of an African American woman. I'm excited. I'm talking too fast.
Oh no, you're good.
So there is a model for them as they attempt to help us.
I love
letting
that.
them know, we walk in the room with some stuff that you need to know about.
Exactly. Some things they probably have no clue
Correct.
about that's going on subconsciously
Right.
with us and, overtly at home.
Absolutely. And all the things I had to put aside, all the upbringing, all the cultural things that I had to put aside to simply call you and say, I need some help.
Absolutely.
So, and then as I was doing that research, as I devised that model, doing focus groups, I went ahead and came up with a model for us. So things that as African-American women, when we choose to go to counseling, to be aware and conscious of these things. So that's the project.
Wow. I am just amazed. I'm sitting here like, the people that like sit there with their mouth wide open, like, wow, how amazing. So awesome. I love all of that. And on top of that, if that wasn't enough, moms, she also is the executive director of Power Ministries, Inc. So tell us a bit about that.
I am. Power Ministries is what I call a heartburst.
Okay.
It's a calling, but still something that you feel, I need to do this. Like this, it may not be my divine or ultimate purpose, but there is something in me that I need to birth. So Power Ministries really helps to prepare and equip women, I would say moms. It does do moms, women and teen girls in the Memphis area. And I have two major initiatives that come out of that. One is Higher Learning, which is for teen girls to help them think and dream higher. And also Project Stand, which is an initiative that I have to raise awareness and resources for domestic violence survivors.
And that is where we plug into today's conversation.
Absolutely.
I wanted the moms to just get really the full scope and context of how just, deep and amazing you are before we get into the next combo.
It's a big plate. I have a lot of stuff on my plate. I got a big plate. So yeah.
Well, you do well with your big plate. How about that?
Thank you.
So with Project Stand, right, you mentioned that supports domestic violence survivors and moms. There were some really interesting stats when it comes to domestic violence, and I was just like floored when I read that about 20 people every minute are physically abused by an intimate partner. 20 people a minute.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
I think it's 1 in 3 for women and 1 in 4 for men who have at some point in their lives been victims of intimate partner violence.
Wow. That just floored me. I've never, been in that position personally, thank God. But I had an aunt that was murdered by a partner, and it was a domestic violence situation. So like you, it's a heartstring for me as well. And it's like, whether you've personally been in it or know loved ones or friends that have been in that situation, it definitely is a very serious matter.
Absolutely.
And one worth having the conversation about. So before we dig into the conversation, we're going to take a small break. But welcome to the show.
Thank you for having
Dr.
me. I'm enjoying it. Stay tuned. We've got other stuff to talk about.
There you go. You see the radio host in her. Did y'all see? She just said my part. I love it. Come on now. Teamwork makes a dream work. Mom, stay tuned. We'll be right back with Dr. Karen. You're listening to Rise Up Single Mom Podcast with your host, Clarissa Joy.
Riffin' on jazz.
Our theme today, because we need one desperately, is Jazz Getaway. Who you want to introduce right quick?
Well, I'll wait till we get back.
There you go. Thank you. Way to go. Thank you very much.
Riffin' on jazz on the Kazookian Network.
Welcome back, moms. You're listening to the Rise Up Single Mom Podcast with Clarissa Joy. We are empowered by the Kazookian Network and having such an amazing conversation today with the Dr. Reverend Pastor Karen Todd. And then everybody goes, screams in the background.
Right. I should have brought my sound effects, right?
Okay, so what an amazing introduction. If you guys are just tuning in, press rewind. You do want to hear all of the amazing things that Dr. Karen has done, is doing, and continuing to do in our community. We want to dig into Project Stand, which is an effort that supports domestic violence survivors. That's a part of the Power Ministries Incorporation, which she is the executive director of. So tell us your why behind creating Project Stand.
Certainly. My why, in 2014, I believe it was, in a span of 30 days, there were, I want to say, 4 domestic violence homicides.
Wow. In Memphis? Was it Memphis?
In Memphis.
Wow, in one city.
In 30 days, there were 4 homicides. So, as we do with social media, something happens, everybody goes on social media. I can't stand it. Oh my God, this is horrible. We got to do better.
All the emotion.
And then something happens and it diverts our attention, and then life goes on and we go back to our normal, whatever our normal is, right? And then it happened again, and we go back and we tweet and we Facebook and we go on Instagram, and oh my God, can you believe it? It's happened again. Get it right, Memphis. I mean, just all these things that we would say. By the time we got to 4, I remember saying, okay, what I will not do is continue to go on Facebook and talk about it. There is something that needs to be done. So God, help me to see, hear, whatever it is that you would have me to do, because it is futile for me to espouse on Facebook and not do anything for real, right? You know what I mean? And then something happens in Hollywood and we're like, oh, and now the movie's coming out. But yet these families and these women and these men are still suffering, right?
Right.
Because men are victims of intimate partner violence as well. And we don't talk about that a lot, but they are. So I had a conversation with a couple of my cousins. I have an amazing family. So a couple of my cousins, we talked about it. And as a family, we decided we wanted to do something. Okay. So I am fully aware then and now that I have a gift of influence. And not arrogantly aware, but I just know that's a gift that God has given me, right?
Right.
So, so I said, well, because of my reach, because of my network, because God has gifted me with influence, I can use that to do something. Now, what I did not want to do, I want to be very careful. I mean, be very careful to say this. I did not want to reinvent the wheel. Okay. I did not decide that, you know what, I know all these people and I can raise some money and I can start a agency and I can do all these things. There was no need for Karen to reinvent the wheel. Okay. I had enough to do, have enough to do, and I didn't need that. I didn't need the applause for that. That's just not who I am, right? So it made sense to me to use my gift of influence to raise resources and raise awareness for those who are already doing the work.
Okay, so organizations that had already formed with the mission to support and help victims of domestic violence. You tapped into that.
Absolutely. So what I do is I have this big soiree, which is what I love to do, right?
Yes,
this big event. Let's feed the people. Let's sing. Let's do all the things.
I think Vivica Fox, wasn't she at one of your
Vivica
events?
Fox was one of the speakers. Angela Winbush.
Yes, that's right.
So I get to do that thing that I love and have this big, amazing party, for lack of a better word. And the funds that are raised, I would donate to these grassroots organizations. So I have not necessarily tapped into something that was a big nationwide organization. Or if Gwen Turner had Corinthian House, where she housed, there are not enough beds in Memphis for domestic violence, for those who are survivors that are leaving their situation.
Out of that
there
situation.
There are not enough beds. So she started Corinthian House, and she was one of the first people that I gave to. Like, I don't know what all this can do for you, but here
you
do this.
Go. Right.
The second year, we did well the first year. Second year, I think it was the second year, I added Joyce Kyles, who has Walk Into a New Life.
Yes.
So giving to her, giving to Gwen Turner. A few years in, we added Links. Wanda Taylor, Ladies in Need Can Survive is the name of her organization. It's not only domestic violence, but she does have survivors that come and stay with her. So just as we kept going and kept growing, I just kept giving to people that there was a need, and they didn't need me. You know what I mean?
They needed funds and resources.
They needed attention. They needed people to know what they were doing.
What they were already working on.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So whatever I can do in that vein is what I do. So I do have people that will call and they're like, listen, I have a friend who is dealing with domestic violence, and I put them in touch with one of them.
So you're connecting. You're connecting resources.
I'm a link. Yeah. But I am not the go-to person to get it done. I'm able to counsel. I'm able to have a conversation, but I want the people who have been called specifically for that.
Yes, for that mission.
To do the work. You know, I will stay over here and do my coaching and my pastoral counseling and preach about Jesus and all that good, wonderful stuff that God has called me to do. And when it's time for someone, I don't have to do it all.
Right.
I want, and I'm good with that. I'm good thriving in the space that God has prepared for me. And I pray that that's something that people take, even from this conversation. You have a space.
Absolutely.
When you get in position, if the blessings are coming at 55 third, and you on Union, you out of position.
You on the wrong street.
Right. You over here where it's live and popping, but you in the wrong spot. So, but if you get in your spot at 55 third, I have no idea if that's the actual address, but so don't go there. But if you get there and that's where God is dropping the anointing and dropping the blessings and opening the doors, then that's when you begin to see all of what you have ever wanted to birth. You begin to see those things expand because you are in position.
Okay, moms, are you in position? This may step on a couple of toes, but I think it's needed, right? It's a needed conversation. So based on those organizations that you guys have been able to reach out to and provide these resources and services, financial help, et cetera, what would you say, has been the response?
It's the tears for me, I think. Yeah. And not the sad ones, the tears of joy in knowing that someone sees me.
Yes.
Because the people that I give to, they are also, all three of those organizations, they are survivors.
Oh, wow.
So they have been in, it's not my story either. You said it's not my story either.
Right.
It's just, it pulls at my heart. But they are survivors. So to see them and to help them do for others what either they needed themselves, what they did not get, or what somebody did for them, whatever their story is, to know that it takes money to do that kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
It takes money to do it. And to see them just to see them cry and be grateful and be thankful, and knowing that what I have done, what my family has done, will help somebody that I may never see, may never know. It may help her. It may help her children. It may help because, like you said, you had a family member that went through the even extended family. They are all affected by it.
Oh, absolutely.
So everybody's affected by it. So when we get to help. That does my heart good.
It's not just a one person's problem or one person's issue, but like you mentioned, when it happens, it affects the family, the friends, if they have children, right? So
then it affects generations, right?
Yes.
If a son thinks that's how
it's acceptable.
That's how I as a man am to release my anger and release my pressure. Or if daughter is seeing mom do it.
And she's like, okay, I can accept this from a man.
Yeah.
Absolutely
accept or give.
Okay, give. That's a different perspective.
You know
You're
what
right.
I mean? There are
hurt
women
people
who
hurt
are,
people.
Absolutely.
Okay. Wow, I didn't even think about that lens of it.
So there are sisters that are abusers. So whether they saw it themselves or they experienced it and now I'm lashing out, nobody will ever do that to me again, those types of things. So we get to affect generations.
So with these amazing benefit events that you have put on, can you think of just like one survivor story that really made you go, wow, she got out of that? Or, anything that was just one little tidbit that was shared with you. And I asked that
12
question.
of them are flying through my head.
I asked that question because there's probably a mom listening to this that's currently in that situation. I think it will be very helpful for her.
There was one. I may share more than one there because I'm going to hit them quickly because if I talk too long, I may, divulge something I should.
Okay.
So there was one person, one woman, who was in a experiencing intimate partner violence, and her abuser was a pastor. So you put on, this mask. Not the ones we're wearing now, but this mask, and and I remember her saying she said, I became the greatest makeup artist ever because she had to cover the black eye. She had to cover from the abuse. Because she had to go to church on Sunday, and she sings and she does all these things, and she's in front, and we are the perfect couple, and it's amazing, and all so. Yeah, so that one was difficult to swallow, especially being in the church and then going back on Sunday and just kind of looking out, or looking out in the pews and in the chairs and just wondering.
Wow.
The person that comes that's on the praise team, the usher that is greeting and smiling every Sunday.
And you have no idea what they're going through at home.
Idea what they're going through. So that was one of the ones that she was able to be helped. I had another person who it was financial, because we think of violence and domestic violence as he hit me, which is absolutely violence. But it's not even about the hitting. It's about the control.
Yes, that's it.
It's about the control with this person having control over this other person.
You are under my thumb.
Yeah, so it's about the control. So a lot of times the abuse is financial.
Okay.
So, you can't make it without me.
Where you gonna go? What you gonna do?
Nobody will ever treat you as good as I treat you. Nobody,
or nobody else even wants you.
Right. Oh. And that becomes, so it starts even with that verbal abuse.
Yes.
Because there are some strong women who are in violent relationships. So it's not the weak.
Right.
It's not a thing
which
that
is
they're
a myth.
Weak. Right. So I'm using male, female as male as abuser now only for this example, not because that's always the case. But it starts with verbal abuse. So I'm talking to you and I'm telling you you'll never meet anybody and you'll always be under, you need me. Nobody wants you. Look at you. So we go through all of that, but we are able to come back on the back end and help those who did get the courage to leave.
Yes.
And even sometimes those who are trying to get the courage to leave. Yeah.
Because it's a process.
It is definitely a process.
And I don't want moms that may be in that situation today to feel bad if you haven't gotten the courage yet to say, okay, enough is enough and I'm leaving now. Right?
Have a plan.
Have a plan.
Don't allow people to tell you, girl, you need to get out of there. You need a plan. And with your courage, make a plan and then execute the plan.
Wow, this has been amazing. Thank you so much for sharing all these amazing nuggets. Moms, don't forget our positive affirmation. I will find strength through any situation. Make sure you follow us on social media. Look up Rise Up Single Mom. We are empowered by the Kazukian Network, and you've been listening to Rise Up Single Mom podcast. Until next time, be blessed.
Rise Up Single Mom. Directed, produced, and distributed by Kazukian.